Hey everybody, it's Julie Marie from Protective Diet, and I want to show you how I am transplanting my seed starts into a new cup because these are my tomatoes and my tomatillos. I repurposed or recycled these seeds. These tomatoes came from my neighbor Louise's garden, and the tomatillos came from my last year's garden. So I bought seeds, planted them, enjoyed the tomatillos and the tomatoes, and then I saved the seeds. I show you how to save those seeds in another video, but today I'm showing you these were under my grow light for a couple weeks, and now I'm moving them into their own homes for the next couple weeks before I transfer them to my garden because they're fighting for space and they're very leggy. And on tomato plants, these will root out all along that leggy stem, thanks Jerry, if I give them more soil to root out into. So that will create a stronger plant to transfer into my garden.
Does that work with every plant?
No. So this is one of the cups that I emptied out dry. So I didn't water my cups before I did this process. And they came apart really nice. You just want to be careful and shake off the soil, and you have these perfect roots, and you're separating just one at a time. And all of these came from one cup, including these. So now I can share Louise's tomato plants and my tomatillo plants with the entire neighborhood.
Show them one, bring it a little further. There we go.
One plant is going to go into here. But I also want to show you, I watered this plant because all of our plant starts we water bottom up, and I just put it in this bowl while I was taking this one apart. And I watered it by just putting water in the bottom like we've been watering them under the grow light. And I wanted to see if Louise's plum tomatoes would come out of here easier and separate easier wet rather than dry, because I did the first one dry, and I think it would be smarter to separate your tomato plants when they're dry, because you see how easily they separate apart. But I wanted to show you the difference, because the last time I did this in my life, I did it when they were wet, and it's harder to get them apart without breaking up this rooting
soil
system.
sticks together, right?
Yes, and the roots break up, and I want to have this be as low of a traumatic experience for my baby tomatoes. So I'm going to put this back in there and let it dry out till tomorrow, because I have all of these tomatoes to do. And these Louise's plum tomatoes were the star of last summer. So I'm going to show you one of these, how we do it. So carefully you're breaking this. You're just crumbling off the soil gently, and they come right apart without losing the root. Then we take a new cup with just a little bit of soil. So I'm dumping this out. This is actually a double cup that got stuck together. Jerry was drilling holes in all these cups for me. And these cups we can repurpose next year. We can use these over and over again, so don't feel like you're being wasteful. You're not, because you're not buying your plant starts. You would have bought your plant starts in a plastic container anyway. And if you are, save those plastic containers. So you can see I put some soil in the bottom, and then I put my tomato plant. I'll put it here so you can see it easier. And then I'm going to put this dry soil. This is potting mix. Buy it from the store, because we want a sterile mix to avoid these seedlings being exposed to any possible unhealthy microbes in the garden when they're so young. And we'll fertilize them in the garden when we plant them. I'm using worm casings this year because they are superchargers for the plants. So I'll put that in there, and I'll show you that. But that's how we do it. So we cover them up to those last two leaves, and if this tomato plant gets big enough, when I plant it in the garden, sometimes I'll even pop off the last two leaves and cover it higher, but I'll show you how to get those in the garden. But this is your plant start. And then you're putting it on your tray here. And I'm full. I gotta get another tray. These are old baking sheets that I saved. You could use aluminum baking pans. You could use these repurposed salad mixes. And then you're watering that tray so that they water bottom up, just like you saw me doing to this plant here. So these are going under my grow light. And in a couple weeks, these are going into my garden and delivered to my neighbors to share. I've got to bring one back to Louise. She'll probably be shocked. Take care.
And best of health.